Every other video you look at when you look up Fire Emblem Shadows is absolute bull crap. Don't listen to a single word of it. Lock in, because I'm coming at you with well over 250 hours. I mean, I'm just being conservative because I truly don't know how much time I've spent, and my phone usage only tracks daily. But in general, the whole point is we're well over 2 months past release, and the algorithm for Fire Emblem Shadows is still pushing absolute garbage to new players. Now that you're watching this video, forget all of it and just listen to me. This is an honest-to-God review about Fire Emblem Shadows, its basis as a game, its basis as a Fire Emblem title specifically, and if you should play it. Starting out, what even is Fire Emblem Shadows? Fire Emblem Shadows is a real-time strategy multiplayer PvP mobile game where you and 2 other players will play a multiplayer PvPvE match trying to make it through a dungeon full of monsters while avoiding death yourself. At the same time, however, one of 3 players in the dungeon is actually a traitor trying to stealthily kill the other 2 players. The dungeon itself is only 2 rooms, and after the first room, there will be a voting section to decide who everyone thinks the traitor is amongst them, and rewards will be provided to the correct guesses. After this voting phase, an all-out battle to the death between the traitor and the other 2 players commences. This, in terms of describing the game, is the entire game. But the reason why it had such negative feedback from players, I'd wager, is that a major portion of them who tried the game have never played a real-time strategy game in their lives. This isn't to say there isn't issues within the game itself, but my point is that many people were likely caught off guard. Real-time strategy games like Fire Emblem Shadows have elements of player interaction that feel almost unnatural if you aren't used to them, as the game at its core will quite literally play itself without your input. Rather than nitpicking genres or defining what Fire Emblem Shadows is or isn't, I'd like to highlight, however, how a great job the team has done bringing it to multiplayer, making it feel both competitive and strategic, with responsive controls for those tight moments, as well as casual and lighthearted for those who just want to roleplay, grind characters, and learn about the Fire Emblem lore they've kind of set up here. Speaking of, let's talk about how Fire Emblem Shadows actually stacks up as a Fire Emblem game. Let me break down what this game actually has to do at all with Fire Emblem, if any. The first and most obvious thing is that the gameplay isn't similar at all. At its core, Fire Emblem is a turn-based strategy game that is single player, and this is a multiplayer, real-time strategy. We've kept that strategy component, but that's it. What it does retain from Fire Emblem, however, heavily outweighs what it doesn't. Let's go down the list. Classes, class-based movement ranges, weapon triangle, anima triangle, character levels, weapon stats, Prince abandoning their kingdom chapter 1, red and green knights, edgy swordmaster archetype, literally Naga, Elfire, Mend, the entire spell list, entire characters, weapon effectiveness, flying unit mechanics, and I bet we could keep going from here. The point is, despite what any other Fire Emblem YouTuber tells you, Fire Emblem Shadows is a well and truly Fire Emblem title, just as much as any other spin-off, if not more. Personally, with how much I loved early on Heroes for its story, I consider it part of the official series. And if we can get anywhere near that with Shadows' story, I would probably consider it an official game too. Far more than less explicitly canon titles like the original Warrior game or Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Now, let's talk about the most important topic. Should you play it? You probably think my most immediate answer is yes, considering how much I've hyped it up this entire video, but I'd like anyone who tries it to come in having a good time with good expectations. Instead, I'd prefer you only try Fire Emblem Shadows if you're willing to take the advice to try a multiplayer PvP social deduction game. The fact is, Fire Emblem is quite honestly the only thing Nintendo ever gave the game, and as someone who works in the licensing side of gaming, I actually wouldn't doubt if Dinaco, the company behind Fire Emblem Shadows, actually purchased the Fire Emblem IP in order to convince players to push through the learning curve. What kept many initial players playing was a commitment to the Fire Emblem theme and characters, and once you pushed past initial expectations, you easily found yourself addicted to the core game itself. An IP purchase like this is exactly what this type of team shoots for in order to secure committed players. So, back to our point at hand. If you want to try something brand new, a Fire Emblem themed multiplayer PvP game, then please try Shadows. There's 0 pay-to-win options, extremely easy onboarding into the game, and a slow but steady progression system that is satisfying to progress through. I highly recommend the game, and I'll be playing it every single day until they shut the whole thing down. Also, last note, next video will be a Shea guide, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and if you watched this far, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more Fire Emblem Shadows content.